Well, it was November 2011 when I started drawing. My inspiration for drawing was actually a German movie, a bit of an old German movie called in November it will be, in winter will be 1 year. It's a very dramatic movie, but it's also about character development a lot more than it does about story development, and that's how I just fell in love with one of the characters and how he was already in his the third stage of his life, and he was already an artist, just trying to keep understanding life through art, and that just inspired me to try to look for the same thing. You can see a lot of Andrew Loomis here and a lot of Michael Hampton. I have to admit, Michael Hampton is a lot more relatable to me. You can understand his books a lot better, and although Andrew Loomis speaks with a very approachable language and in a way that you feel comfortable, Michael Hampton has helped me get the best results, and it was a lot easier to follow his drawings and his sketches, and even though I didn't always get it right, it was a breeze to try to follow him, and actually when I got to the point in which I could make something that looked similar to his work, I was only feeling awesome. I'm sorry about this image of a fairy and an angel. They look awful. I apologize, but it's just me showing my process. This is a copy from Michael Hampton's, and it's almost at the end of the book, and I started copying more things because I wanted to do manga. And I realized that just copying anime, we know this characters from different animes, I could actually draw manga maybe. So I started making more exercises than whatever I could find online about how to draw manga. This is from a fairies book. I like fantasy characters, so I guess the fairy and the angel are the most iconic to me. But definitely you have to draw fairies being cute, and that's something I learned to do through this book by Linda Ravencroft. Manga is always a recurrent theme for me. I love it, and well, it's so expressive, you can actually just looking at the eyes. But definitely Michael Hampton has always been my main source of reference to understand human figure and other forms as well, although I have to admit it's been almost only human figure, and it was through Michael Hampton and taking Andrew Loomis more like hints and not so much of the actual process to follow that I learned and that I felt comfortable with my work, and I was able to actually follow the anatomy that Andrew Loomis demands that we perform. It was little by little. This was already around the process of 8 months, I'm going to 6 to 8 months, that I started actually feeling comfortable. But of course I was drawing every single day. Maybe I wasn't drawing 1 day a week. Usually Sundays I wasn't drawing, but most of the time I was drawing a lot. I was drawing at least an hour and a half a week, an hour and a half every day, sorry. Or sometimes even 2 hours. And this is a copy again from the same How to Draw Fairies book, and it's just me trying to understand nature, but I wasn't really copying nature. This is me already feeling a lot more comfortable with the human skull and trying to get there. Again, copying manga is always a form of practice, but it doesn't really help you create your own characters. Although who doesn't want to draw Hal, right? This is a short scene. You'll see it right now. A short scene from Hal's Moving Castle. This is the first time I was so scared to do this because it's the first time I was actually doing two characters in the same scene. And this was maybe my first fairy. Trying to make a background and everything. It doesn't look very good. But this one is from 2017. I honestly hope you have enjoyed watching this process with me, and I thank you very much for your time. See you again.